Hello again, and thanks very much for joining us. And here are business stories we're tracking at this hour. I'm Michael Nath. The Securities and Exchange Commission has pegged the maximum amount to be raised from digital assets offering within 12 months at 10 billion naira. The limit is contained in the Commission's new rules and issuance offering platforms and custody of digital assets. These rules, according to the Commission, would apply to users or issuers seeking to raise capital through digital asset offerings. It defined digital asset as a digital token that represents assets such as a debt or equity claim on the issuer and include initial coin offering and other distributed ledger technology offers of digital assets. The new rules stated that the issuer must demonstrate that the gross proceeds to be raised from the digital asset offering would be sufficient to undertake the project as proposed in the white paper. It said, and I quote, "An issuer may only raise funds subject to the following limit: 20 times the issuer's shareholders' funds, that is the maximum quantum of funds permitted to be raised within any continuous 12-month period, subject to a ceiling of 10 billion or any other ceiling as the Commission may determine from time to time." According to the statement, the issuer shall demonstrate that the gross proceeds to be raised from the digital asset offering would be sufficient to undertake the project as proposed in the white paper. In the event that the amount raised is below the soft cap, the issuer shall refund all monies collected from the token holders within 5 business days from the offered closing date. Now, the federal government is collaborating with the World Bank has distributed 100 million naira to the youths of Anambra State for development and empowerment. The money was disbursed during the inauguration of the first phase of a 4-day training for youths in Anambra State under the Anambra COVID-19 Action Recovery and Economic Stimulus and CARES project. During the exercise, over 500 youths were trained in the program that took place at Ekulobia in Agwata local government area of the state. The youths who participated in the training were selected from the 10 pilot local government areas of the state and were given 200 naira each, or 200,000 naira each, for empowerment, making it a total of 100 million naira distributed. The pilot areas include Agwata, Anambra West, Oka North and South Idemili South, Ihiala, Newi North, and South Obaru and Onitsha South. In a speech, the chairman of the steering committee, who is equally the Anambra State Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, Chiamaka Nake, said the Professor Chukwuma Soludo-led administration would always ensure that Anambra youths receive their share of any federal government's largesse. Now, following the drive to raise local funds to finance the 6.26 trillion naira 2022 budget deficit, the federal government has borrowed a total of 984.28 billion naira through Federal Government of Nigeria bonds between January and April 2022. A Federal Government of Nigeria bond auction result released by the Debt Management Office and has revealed federal government Nigeria bonds are debts, securities, liabilities of the federal government of Nigeria issued by the debt office on behalf of the federal government. The federal government of Nigeria has obligation to pay the bondholder the principal and agreed interest as and when due. The 2022 budget has a deficit of 6.26 trillion naira, forcing the federal government to issue new borrowings of 5.012 trillion naira, of which domestic 2.506 trillion naira and foreign 2.506 trillion naira. Drawdowns on project-tied multilateral bilateral loans 1.156 trillion naira and privatization proceeds of 90.73 billion naira. With the added new debts to the debt stock, it is expected that the country's total debt stock is to hit 45.86 trillion naira by December 2022. Local industry analysts have called on the federal government to take swift and deliberate action to cushion the effects of the disruptions in the global wheat market on Nigeria's wheat value chain. The call was made in a recently published review of the global wheat market following the war between two top wheat exporting countries, Russia and Ukraine. According to the analysts, the multifaceted value chain crisis, including the shortage of foreign exchange, mounting freight charges, and hike in the price of diesel worsened by the war, had continued to take a heavy toll on the wheat value chain. Flour mills have continued to battle with the rising costs of production and low local wheat production. The rising costs have passed down to bakers, raising the hardship and cost of living index of the hard-pressed local consumers who continue to bear the burden of the increase in the prices of wheat derivative foods and household staples. The experts said the millers and bakers had come under intense cost pressure as the price of the all-important grain continued to skyrocket in the international market, freight charges spiraling out of control. The review showed that the price of wheat in the global market shot to $1,000 per bushel in March 2022 from $761.25 in January. On top of that, the millers are expected to spend more on shipping the commodity from the exporting countries, as their combined freight bill prediction jumped from 21.6 trillion naira in 2019 to 28.8 trillion naira in 2021. Similarly, an analyst has outlined the debilitating effects of the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war on prices of food commodities in the market. Head of Product Structuring and Origination, Afex Nigeria, Yusuf Ogunbuyi, said this on the backdrop of the World Bank's latest commodity markets outlook, stating that the war in Ukraine has dealt a major shock to commodity markets. He said it is earlier in the day on iBrandTV's breakfast show, Business Breakfast.
Lines of impact, the transmission mechanism from the Russia-Ukraine war into the price of food globally and then to Nigeria is quite straightforward, and it moves from supply-demand imbalances, where you have production of commodities like wheat in Nigeria, and then sunflower oil, production of wheat rather in Ukraine, and sunflower oil in the same region. If Russia itself, which is under a lot of sanctions as it stands, cannot export the wheat it produces, and Ukraine, which is also a sizable producer of wheat and exporter of wheat, is not able to produce and export wheat due to the war, then you can then see that we are expecting about 25 to 29% of global wheat supply to be cut off. That's quite sizable, substantial, I must say. And if we also look at the trajectory that we've seen, the trend we've seen before this crisis itself, the wheat market has been in a very tight situation. And what the tight situation means is that the demand for the product is way higher than the supply as we have it now. So what that means, you then have on top of that about 25 to 29% being cut off from international markets. You can then see why there's a lot of force around, there's a lot of skepticism around the availability of wheat globally at the end of the year. And for important countries like Nigeria and so many other countries in Africa, this is a very scary thing to face. This is not a product, or this is not a commodity that you can quickly ramp up production in your country. It's a product that requires very specific geography, very specific climate.
You're watching Business Now from iBrandTV Lagos. We'll take a short break now and come back with the rest of the news. Stay with us.
Most people don't understand the magic of a perfect skin, the allure of a well-pampered skin. We bounce from skincare products to skincare products, from spa to spa. Looking for that ideal solution. I found the solution. And it's Blemiviv Skincare and Spa. My name is Neil, and I'm proud to be a part of the Blemiviv family.
Welcome back. Having a great idea or product, brimming with enthusiasm and confidence that Nigeria and the rest of the world would key into a business is only the beginning of the journey. The road ahead will certainly be filled with speed bumps and potholes, from competitions and internal disputes within the company to inadequate resources and funding challenges. The irony, though, is that most times potential startups in Nigeria get carried away by the excitement of their ideas, plans, or services. As a result, most of these SMEs end up making some avoidable but devastating mistakes. Now, to look at common mistakes being made by startups in Nigeria and the solutions, I have with me here via the phone Adeniyi Atiba, Director, Dr. Triple, a company interview right now going on. Okay, Adeniyi, thank you so much and welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Michael. It's good to be here.
Yeah, nice to have you around. Now, you've heard it all. Coming up with a new idea of going into a business is so exciting, very enthusiastic, you know, on the part of those who come up with such ideas. But the question now is, does everybody who goes into a new business come up or come out successful?
Well, it's well, I don't want to say it's obvious, you know, but it's not everybody that that comes up into a new business that actually will succeed because of several factors involved, you know. There are several factors involved, but like I always say, the background and the foundation is the fact that people fail to plan. People fail to plan, you know, and it's just there because, you know, we made it a cliche, but it's not. It's actually reality. You know, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. You know, it's so clear. So that is a major and that's a foundational reason. But, you know, that foundational reason has several other reasons attached to it, you know, which, you know, if, of course, you allow me, I can just go ahead and just share with, you know, with just now.
Let's hear it.
Okay, beautiful. All right. So first off is that there are 8 reasons that are tied to that foundational reason, you know, because people fail to plan. They don't put into consideration 8 different things. Startups, you know, when they start, they're so carried away with the fact that, you know what, my idea is powerful, my idea. But, you know, like somebody also said, ideas are a dime a dozen, you know. The fact that your idea is so nice does not mean that it's just, there are several things you need to do. So number one is to be aware of what we call leadership flaws or founder flaws. All right. Now, what happens with most startups is that their weakness will often show in their business. And the solution to that is to strictly ensure that you hire your weaknesses, outsource your weakness. If you are not great in marketing, of course, it just makes a whole lot of sense. Get somebody who is great in marketing to be on your team, because it will show up in your business. Your limitations will always limit your business. It always happens like that. That's number one. So it's very important that the founder ensures that he or she, you know, you make sure you hire your weakness. Number two is that most businesses don't sit down to identify the why. Why am I doing what I'm doing? So, you know, everybody gets excited. You know what? I want to do business. Oh, I want to make money. I want to hammer. You know, like somebody will say, the hammer. But there must be a reason why you are doing business. That comes to your boss, down to your mission. What is the mission of this business that you're trying to do? And if you're not careful, in a space of 2-3 years to 5 max, the business is going to fizzle out. Why? Because there's no why. The why is the magnet, is the core reason why the business exists. You know? So people don't just say, you know, I want to do business, you know, and all that. No. It goes beyond that. There must be a driving force. That is what the owner communicates to the team. That's the vision that they push to the team and makes the team to keep working. You know, like you know, I always tell people, look, I have a mentor who team members have worked with for over 25 years. It's because she has a compelling why. The mission is very clear. The mission is compelling. You know, so they want to work. And if you yourself don't have that, it's going to limit you. I'm going to move to number 3, which, you know, I've already started talking about, the team. It's important that you understand, you know, if you have a dream, you need a team. And, you know, so people say to me sometimes, you know, because, you know, people call me Dr. AAA, you know, that's my name, you know, that's all my name put together. And they say to me, Doctor, you know, I don't have that money. I'm a startup. Yeah, that's the reason why it's good to collaborate. Because your business will be limited by the quality of the people that drive your vision, that drive your mission. So it's very important that the team members, so sometimes most startups don't, you know, from the beginning, they make that mistake and they don't get on board the best hands. You know, so, but like I said, if it's the matter of funding, you don't have enough money. Yeah, because we always say it, and it's true, that if you don't pay well, the only set of, if you pay peanuts, you only attract monkeys.
That's a good one. Wow.
Yeah, because if you pay peanuts, you know, you only attract monkeys, you know. But if you pay well, you are able to attract top, you know, talent to your business. And these things are very, very critical. Your team will determine. People have good structures. I've seen organizations who buy franchises, you know, beautiful ones, you know, and they are normally on paper, they're supposed to succeed, but because the team that they got on board, those team are not quality, what happens? The business dies. I'm going to move on straight off to the fact that most startups also don't make up their mind from the beginning on the product or service that they want to offer. You know, that's interesting. Somebody says, oh, I mean, but I have an idea. Yes, you have an idea. The question is, have you streamlined it? Because you see, people want to, you know, in Nigeria and Africa, what happens is I want to start a business and then I have like 10 products and services I want to rush into the market together. That is a recipe for failure.
Wow.
It's a recipe for failure. People should know me for something, first off. And let me tell you, I must confess, this happened to me for over 15 years. I was doing that. You know, I was just jumping from one thing to the other, and I was just lucky. I was just lucky because I had mentors, you know, to advise me. But you see, now we're telling you this is the shortcut. Start with something. start with one product, become known for that product, and then scale up. So that's what it is. Whatever it is in your industry, you boil it down to a niche. In other words, so I'll give you an example that I like to always say, and I'll give this using the hairstylist or the hairdresser. Just let's start with that.
Okay.
So you were starting up in an area. It just makes a whole lot of sense for me. I always tell start with the kids. And people run away from the kid. But this is the beauty of it. So when you are doing the hair, you're doing hair for the young ladies, the young kids, the ladies, the female, and you're starting with that. What happens is that you're doing it very well. Guess what happens? Their mothers are the stakeholders, right? So they come, they bring those children to your salon, and then they're looking at it, and the next thing, you're doing quite well. Then one day just ask you, can you fix my hair?
Yeah, sure.
Can you set my hair too?
So in other words, what you're saying is to start small.
Exactly. You start small. You already have the picture in your mind that you're going big. Of course, you start small, think big, and then you grow fast. Like we always say. But the thing is, ensure that start with a part of the vision. Don't just rush at the vision, simultaneously. You want to run and everything. No. Start from somewhere. So from there, guess what happens? Then the mothers start to come there. Oh, yeah, she can do that too. And then you face that too. What have you done? You've been able to create a market for yourself from the very beginning.
Yeah.
You have put away the competition, because the competition, remember, all of them are focused at the ladies. You started with the kids. So that's just one of what I'm talking about. It also happens with the fashion designers. You could just start with doing quality trousers or pants, like the Americans call it. Just the quality pants, and start doing that. Before you know it, they're going to start telling you, what, let us, can you make shirts? And then you move on and you say, oh yeah, I can make shirts. And then from there, you can actually keep doing what you do. So that is very, very key. I move to the next one.
Okay, no,
which is,
no, sorry, there won't be time for the next one. Probably we'll leave it for next time we're going to meet again. Thank you so much, Adeni, for your contribution.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time.
It. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you for having me.
All right.
Okay.
Now to the rest of the news. Pan-African Towers Limited has listed its maiden bond issuance of 10 billion naira on the FMDQ Securities Exchange. The Part Digital Infra Fund SPV PLC's 10 billion naira Series 1 Senior Guaranteed Fixed Rate Bond was listed at par at FMDQ Exchange. The bond was issued under the company's 50 billion naira bond issuance program. Part Digital Infra Fund SPV PLC is a special purpose funding vehicle established by Pan-African Towers to raise finance from the debt capital market. Pan-African Towers is a telecommunications infrastructure company and wireless service facilitator in Nigeria aimed at catering to the communication needs ranging from broadband, mobile telephone to other local value-added services in Africa. Chairman, Pan-African Towers, Oluwole Adeleke, commended InfraCredit for its support in the issuance of its debut bond in the debt capital market. According to him, InfraCredit's guarantee was essential to the company's vision in being the #1 wholly indigenous-owned digital telecommunications infrastructure and wireless service facilitator in Nigeria. Nigeria and other African nations are forecast to increase their gas output from about 260 billion cubic meters in 2022 to as much as 335 BSCM by the end of the decade. Europe is now considering how gas-rich African nations can be helped to scale up production and exports in the years to come. The EU ambassador to Nigeria, Samuela Isopi, together with France, Italy, Portugal, and Spain's ambassadors, had last month met with the management of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited to discuss developments in the sector. The visit came as Europe tries to reduce its reliance on Russian gas. The European envoys to Nigeria therefore sought to strengthen their cooperation in the energy sector with Africa's top economy. Africa is conservatively forecast to reach peak gas production at 470 billion cubic meters by the late 2030s, equivalent to about 75% of the expected amount of gas produced by Russia in 2022, according to Rystad Energy's research. Now, despite the route across the global equities market, the rally in the Nigerian equities market remained unscathed as intense bargain hunting activities in stocks pushed the all-share index higher by 4.25% week on week to close at 53,100.21 points. Accordingly, the market's month-to-date and year-to-date returns for the index increased to plus 7.0% and plus 24.3% respectively. Specifically, the NGX market capitalization closed at 28.626 trillion naira from an opening value of 27.459 trillion naira as investors gained 1.17 trillion naira. A total turnover of 1.816 billion shares worth 27.194 billion naira in 36,286 deals was traded by investors on the floor of the exchange, in contrast to a total of 598 billion shares valued at 19.603 billion naira that exchanged hands last week in 21,494 deals. The financial services industry, measured by volume, led the activity chart with 904.860 million shares valued at 8.498 billion naira traded in 12,883 deals, thus contributing 49.82% and 31.25% to the total equity turnover, volume and value respectively. The Nigerian Ports Authority has said that Tin Can Island Port is collapsing, saying that more attention should be focused on more rehabilitating the key walls of the port. Now, speaking over the weekend, the managing director of NPA, Mohammed Bello Koko, said that the agency had taken a holistic review of the decaying parts of the ports. He added that the agency had started discussing with some lending agencies, stressing that the agency did not have intentions to borrow. Bello Koko said that the introduction of the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission meant that a renewal of concession agreement for terminal operators was no longer done the way it used to be done. The NPA boss also said that before the agency would renew the concession agreement of some terminal operators, there must be an agreement on the development of the ports. Now, still to come, surging natural gas prices squeeze U.S. industrial sector. Details of this and more after this break. Stay with us.